All right, the latest breaking news that we're getting in on that story. Protests have already begun. The Congress targeting Sadananda Gowda. Youth Congress workers are protesting against Gowda and his son in Bangalore. These are the latest visuals that we're getting in. The situation clearly now has taken political color as well. These are Youth Congress workers who are protesting against Sadananda Gowda and his son Karthik in Bangalore. I'd like to cut across to our editor South, T.S. Sudhir, on the phone line with us. T.S., can you get us details? Of course, the situation now has quickly taken political color, but will you give us modalities of this rape case that has been lodged against Gowda's son?
Well, to talk about the details of this particular rape case, this has been filed by this actress called Maitri Gowda. This was at the Nagar police station in Bangalore, and in her complaint, Maitri has alleged that Karthik, who is the son of D.V. Sadananda Gowda, the railways minister, had physical relations with her after making a false promise of marriage, and that's what her complaint says. And she says that she's aware of the fact that Sadananda Gowda's family did not approve of their son's relationship with Maitri, and they did not approve of any kind of marriage plans that he had in mind. But at the same time, she's also said that she will soon release a video CD as proof of the marriage that they had done sometime after May this year, and it was only when he subsequently got engaged to another girl that she decided to come out in public. Sadananda Gowda's family believes that it is some kind of political mudslinging that is taking place, that there is some kind of a conspiracy to malign the name of D.V. Sadananda Gowda, who has had a very blemishless, very clean reputation so far in public life, and therefore they feel that there is more to it than meets the eye. Preeti?
All right, we're getting in political reactions at this point of time. Mr. Dinesh Kundu Rao, Congress leader, is on the phone line with us. Mr. Kundu Rao, first comment, sir, on these charges that have been levelled against Mr. Sadananda Gowda's son.
Well, I think in this, the legal process has to be followed through. And I think whatever the law permits or the law states has to be done, has to be followed up. I think we can't jump to any conclusion,
right,
unless there's a proper investigation and a proper thorough look into what exactly has happened. But I think the legal route has to be followed through. So I think that's what any police officer or any
right,
official will do, I suppose.
But Mr. Kundu Rao, I appreciate what you're saying, that the legal process should take over, and if found guilty, this individual, Karthik Gowda, in this case, a case should be made out against him. But, this situation has taken quick political color already. There are cadre from the Youth Congress who are protesting in Bangalore. They've already labelled him a criminal.
I don't think you can label anyone a criminal or charge anyone without knowing for sure exactly what has happened. And this is not an issue concerning the government or any sort of corruption.
But Mr. Kundu Rao, your party is already politicizing the issue, sir. We are showing those visuals of Congress protests taking place in Bangalore.
There may be some people who are agitating, but as what I would like to say is that this is not an issue concerning the government or any corruption or any such issue. This is a personal, private issue which has to be handled with care, and it has to be looked into in a proper manner.
Right.
And since the person is the son of a central minister, I think the police and the government has to look at it in a much manner and see that justice is done for who deserves it, and the justice should not be committed. So that's,
all right,
I think, stand the government has to take.
All right, Mr. Dinesh Kundu Rao, Congress leader. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Kundu Rao. Balanced opinion coming in from the Congress leader, but quite contrary to what's taking place on the ground. Mr. Kundu Rao saying that this is not a government matter, it's a personal matter, should be dealt with it on that front. If found guilty, law should take its course. However, the issue has quickly been politicized by the Congress, and what you're seeing on your television screen are protests taking place in Bangalore by the Youth Congress workers. Political reactions already coming in. Let's listen in to Nalin Kohli from the BJP. All right, that is Nalin Kohli from the BJP coming out to the defense of Mr. Sadananda Gowda, saying that whatever, if there is a rape charge which is credible, which is proven, then law should take its course. But till then, nobody should jump to conclusions. I'd like to cut across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who's been tracking every detail with the BJP government. Brijesh, it's not been a very good week for the BJP. One controversy after the other. It was only yesterday that entire hullabaloo around Rajnath Singh subsided, and today another cabinet minister right in the thick of a storm.
Well, yes, and it's a pretty damaging week for the BJP-led NDA government, because yesterday there was talk about how there were rumors about how Prime Minister had ticked off his number 2 Home Minister Rajnath Singh and his son, and today it's a far more damaging allegations against a son of a railway minister. It's not even about allegation. As long as the investigation progresses, this situation has potential to turn into an extremely embarrassing, prolonged situation for the Narendra Modi government, who would be quite a fix over exactly what course of action to take. Because if the investigation carries on and the opposition keeps on protesting, I mean, it will be very hard for the Modi government to keep Sadananda Gowda in the cabinet, right? Because 100 days are around the corner, and when the BJP will approach the 100 days, instead of all the decisions they have taken, they have now 3 extremely embarrassing positions to talk about. With this current situation of Railway Minister Sadananda Gowda's son being booked for rape is an extremely embarrassing situation, and given the new laws which are in place, it will be very hard for Sadananda Gowda's son Karthik Gowda to wriggle out of it, and unless investigation is complete, he will always be in a spot of bother, thereby diminishing his political authority as well as his stature within the cabinet. Preeti?
Right, Brijesh, to stay on with us, we'll keep coming back to you. Already reactions coming in thick and fast. Would like to cut across to NCW chairperson Mamta Sharma. Would like to cut across back to our editor South T.S. Sudhir, who's been keeping track of all the developments taking place. T.S., away from what the case actually is all about, this is going to cost the BJP. They are chugging along to the 100-day mark, and all that they have right now to show, especially in the last 2 weeks, are a string of controversies involving its top leaders, its cabinet ministers.
Absolutely, Preeti. In fact, it's in the last 24 hours that we have had 2 sons causing embarrassment to 2 senior union ministers. Yesterday we had the case of Pankaj Singh and Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh having to come out with a clarification, and now Karthik Gowda getting across this particular marital case in Bangalore. Obviously, a huge embarrassment to Sadananda, who has served as the Chief Minister of Karnataka before, has a pretty clean reputation, and obviously he will be at pains to explain that his family or his son is not at fault. But yes, a huge embarrassment most certainly to Sadananda Gowda and Karthik Gowda. If he gets embroiled in this kind of a case, as Brijesh was pointing out, it will cause a lot of political damage to his father.
All right, do stay on with us. TS getting us the political implications on what it could mean for the BJP, and also tracking those details is Brijesh Pandey, my colleague, who is right now joining us from our newsroom. Brijesh, any official comment that the BJP is giving? Because we did hear Nalin Kohli who said that it's a wait-and-watch situation. But are we looking at any official statement or a comment from maybe the Prime Minister's office? Because this might be a personal case, but this involves somebody from the cabinet. All right, we're going to cut across to Brijesh in a short while from now. We have Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar, Congress leader, on the phone line with us. Mr. Shiv Kumar, why is the Congress making such a big issue of this? Because this is no implications on the government. It has no implications on the ministry that Sadananda Gowda holds. It's a personal matter of his son. Why is the Congress going to town about it? We can see these protests taking place in Bangalore. We can see various Congress leaders coming out and commenting.
See, I agree it is purely a personal family affair. We know that, yes, definitely it is a personal affair. It doesn't affect any issue of the minister. I fully agree with you. But it is the morality of the youth people to just have a look at it. See that some justice has to be given to who has been deprived out of it. That is what our
but sir, why is the Congress there to define moral reference points for the opposition's family?
No, we definitely, I am telling you, see, he doesn't want to involve with any of the personal issues, though it is not our part. I will just look into that.
But Mr. Shiv Kumar, if the Congress doesn't want to get involved in the personal issues, then what are your youth cadre doing right in Bangalore outside Sadananda Gowda's residence?
That we immediately will look into attend to this on that issue. Immediately we'll attend to that.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar, saying that those individuals that you see on your television screens, well, these are Congress youth workers protesting outside Sadananda Gowda's residence there. He's saying that they will be, the Congress will look into it because this is an entirely a personal matter of Sadananda Gowda's son, have no implications on the government or governance, and needs to be dealt with the same tone.